Hello. Testing, testing.
Hello.
Okay, try that again. Still an echo?
How about
Steve,
now?
you there? Still an echo? Yeah, I don't hear an echo now.
Yeah,
I
it
turned
sounds
off.
like it's gone.
I have too many speakers open.
Oh, gotcha.
How about me? It's Jen.
Hello, Jen.
Jen sounds
Oh,
fantastic.
I don't hear an echo.
Who was that?
That's good.
Oh, that was Chad with the
Yeah.
hello, Jen. Hello. All right. When I checked a while ago and I saw the water already, I was like, wow.
You guys still there?
Yeah.
Oh, I got muted. I think my D-Link went on and off.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah, I was
swear
saying
these
that. I
first
was
5.
Oh.
Oh, I still have an echo.
Yeah, there's a little bit of one.
Uh-oh, I am not being able to somehow get into chat. I was in and then I was off. I'll try it.
I see you still logged in chat, but
As do I. Oh, I think she's gone. I was so surprised when it was before 7 and I looked and it was already 250
I'm here.
meters. I was like, whoa.
yeah, I was surprised too earlier. Because we're planning to launch at 8,
So,
and I took a 3-hour nap, and then suddenly, is it dinner time, and they were prepping the ROV. I was like, oh, we're going. Okay.
yeah, it's great. That was so fast.
Don't get used to it.
Yeah, it was
Every
definitely
dock
shocking.
needs to be a little ahead of schedule. Very efficient.
Nicole must be really worried about the weather.
I'm worried about the weather.
Yeah. Yeah, it hasn't gotten any better. It's only gotten a little bit worse, so...
Okay. Are we modifying our on-deck time?
No, I don't think so, but I think we're just... I haven't talked to her, but I assume we're just going to try and knock this out as quickly as possible, just so we have a little bit of conservative window. Because it's supposed to start in the morning. And obviously going south would be more comfortable if we're further ahead of it.
Mm-hmm.
Although we'll be going downhill, so...
What time do you anticipate leaving the seafloor?
If we pushed it to the 8 o'clock on deck time, it's going to be a 4 to 4:30 leaving the seafloor. But hopefully we get all the equipment within a few hours. So we might be done, in the early morning. And
Okay.
can call it there, but I mean, we have bio boxes, so if there's interest in any collections, we can grab a couple of things.
Should I wake up
couple,
Gary and see
we also have
if,
the Optode on board too.
what's your preference?
What, for collections?
Sorry, Chad, you were breaking up. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, you said, what is your preference? I didn't know what you're referring to.
Oh, temperature probes or bio collections.
Oh, probes.
I was wondering.
I don't
you mean
think you
the
should push
Sorry,
all that stuff
probes?
off till later. You should,
No. All the
weather
collection.
could come up, and then
Yeah, all the
do
collections
all the things we need to do
for the temperature loggers. No, that's all priority. That we're getting all 3 locations first, no doubt.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Equipment and recovery is priority number 1.
Yes, that is absolutely priority number 1.
That's why
And I guess
I've been cramming videos
Yeah,
to,
you know,
to watch deployments
Yeah.
of all of them. Yeah.
so let me explain that. So there's the 3 sites, right?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
The octopus spa we found very easily both times. We found it with the Alvin too. That's a very large feature. It's a very flat feature. That will be no problem getting the temperature logger there. The octopus, the vertical vent, we did have some trouble last year, but now that we have a landmark sitting there, we have, you know, the big orange crate and everything like that, I don't think it'll be too difficult to find a big orange crate. Although we couldn't find a whale for a while today, so who knows. And then the octopus garden one, that was the only one that I really did have to refresh my memory a couple months ago and then again today, watching the video, because I know where the original pool is, Jen, when you and I sat down on that ledge, when the ROV sat down on that ledge.
Yeah.
From there to the left is a
Yeah,
slot canyon.
I watched it. And I got turned around and I wasn't sure actually where
So
we
what
ended up.
happened in that video, I know what you're referring to. We float up and go to the left and there's that slot canyon. Then the ROV goes over the canyon because it can't fit in it. And then it kind of meanders in a little valley back there, lands, does a couple measurements. But what it does is it comes back to that slot canyon head where the octopus garden, that pool is down to the right. So basically ignore all that stuff that happened in between. And then if you're looking at that slot canyon, there's kind of a head peninsula on the left side of that canyon. It's just kind of rising up. There's a line of octopus and you just kind of go down that 10, 20 meters and it's right there.
To the left.
To the
if
left.
you're looking at the original octopus garden, then it goes slot canyon to the left and then these octopus going off to the left and it's in there.
Yeah, and it's a little higher on that wall. It's not, you know, level with the floor of where the octopus garden is. You have to go up on that slot canyon wall on the left and then follow one of the line of octopus down. So, I mean, as long as we find these landmarks, we should have no problem getting the equipment. And then I produced that density grid too, because, you know, those waypoints were they were based off of the observations from last year, and that's just a snapshot in time. It depends where the navigation is reporting at that moment. So there's always some error involved in that. The breadcrumb trail for the Hercules, there was like 17,000 records, right? It's recording every, whatever, 10 seconds or something. So the longer you're at a particular spot, the more dots you're going to have, and it's going to kind of average out the error. And so I did a density grid, so the warm spots, the red spots, should indicate more likely where these sites are if we have trouble finding them.
Well, we were at the vertical vent for hours.
Yes. And if you notice on that map, the red spots in the middle and kind of around it are the different, you know, data logs that are at the same site, according to the description. It's like, took a temperature reading, installed the logger, installed the Osmo sampler, but they're all 20, 30, 40 meters apart, even though it's at the same site. So that shows you kind of how it, you know, it just bounces around when it does the timestamp and logs it.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see the appearance of these five. So that we're basically the at the vertical vent. In addition to the orange crate, we're going to have the tube, the purple tube that has a T-bar at the top that's blue. And there's going to be a blue T-handle temp logger that's much smaller. And this blue, green, and red wrapped VRV logger, which is the temp oxygen logger.
Correct.
They're all supposed to be very close to each other.
They're all in that.
But they were all also just surrounded by lots of octopus and loose rock. So, and then the green above that is the green tube that goes to an Osmo sampler with the green T, and it's placed right near a smaller green-handled temp logger. And they were up in this area where rock fell repeatedly from that area. So I'll just be very curious to see if everything's where we left it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree with you. The octo spa looked to be the easiest to find, and it looked as though, you know, when we go there, there's two pools of octopus. Each time I've gone there, we've approached from the same direction, and the smaller pool is on the right, and the larger pool is on the left. And it was in the larger pool.
It was in the larger pool.
Right? Okay. kind of in the middle.
Yeah, I have a picture there in the dive
At the
plan.
larger, yeah. But it helps me to orient it with the other kind of landmarks. So I wanted to make sure I was kind of knew which pool we were in, and then the picture for the octopus garden was throwing off because it was throwing me off because it said red, but I was seeing purple. But that temp logger has red on the top, but then there's a purple tape wrapped around part of it, and I was
Oh.
only seeing that, and so I was going purple, but I'm seeing, So now it all makes sense. I've seen all the videos, so that was good. So I'm feeling pretty good about it, as long as we can find the general locations, and then we'll see what, if anything, these mischievous octopus have done with our equipment.
I think that's going to be the hard part.
I'm sorry, but I did not find the videos helpful. I just all turned around because I wasn't there on the first dive. So
Yeah, no, it's understandable.
That's
I'm just
okay,
going
Jan.
by the spot. Yeah. I'll keep my eyes open for the different persons and things like that. I'm a professional observer.
It's kind of like, knowing your own neighborhood. If you drop me in your neighborhood, I'd be like, I don't know where I am. I don't know which way to go. But Jen and I have been to this place several times, and we kind of have a little bit of, familiarity with it.
So Jan, your audio to me is a little breaking up.
There's a slight echo,
Yeah,
too.
I'm hearing you guys breaking up. I'm not hearing any echo though.
I'm hearing an echo.
And I think the breaking
It's
up is
coming
on
in and
my
out.
end.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the breaking up is on my end. Because when I listen to you guys, mics off and everything, you're still breaking up. So I think it's my end as far as breaking up. But echo, I don't think is on my end because I'm not hearing it.
Do you hear the echo, Chad?
I do hear the echo.
It's not terrible, but if you're hearing it, then that probably means everybody's hearing it. I think sometimes I've heard a slight echo, but it seems like only Jan and I hear it. Oh, there it's gone.
Yeah, you did not echo just now.
And you didn't either. Jan, are you there? If you change something, that worked.
Oh,
Yeah,
there it goes.
It's back. It's
here.
back.
Oh,
It's back.
then it's me. I'm just going to keep my mic off unless I'm talking.
Okay.
Thanks, Jan.
Yeah, she said she
Yeah,
turned off
sorry,
all her
guys.
speakers. Oh, that's okay, Jan.
I've got all my speakers off. Only V-Link is on, and I'm sure it's a really kind of backwoods internet connection because I'm really in the backwoods.
Okay. No worries. It was fun for me to go back in the videos too and hear Annie talking about the equipment and just so much enthusiasm and excitement for this work. She wrote, sent me a note the other day, but I think she was getting married this weekend. So
She is.
That's why we haven't had her popping into the science chat or anything. I said, don't worry, watch them on YouTube later. She's, I think, a little, doing something more.
Yeah, I reached out to her for her interest in being on one of the shifts. She's like, oh, I really want to, but I'm getting married. Oh, well, you should do that.
And who's getting
Yeah,
married?
definitely. Annie Hartwell, and she went out with us last
Oh yeah,
when we to do this
Chad
work.
has spoken about it.
That was a little hard to hear, Jan. What? Chad, are you still there? making sure it's not me. My
Yeah,
viewing's gone in and
I
out a
hear
couple
you.
of times. Okay. Great.
Yeah, when Jan's connecting too, there's some static and interference as well, right when she connects. So she's got some sort of issue going on at home.
Okay.
Because, you know, you're fine, so it can't be V-Link itself.
Okay. Well, it's always an adventure. Doing all the home version of the control van. It pales in comparison. I don't have a telestrator. I wish I did.
I think there might be a lot
earlier,
of telestrator movement or use tonight. We'll see. Now you see here,
Yeah,
you gotta
so,
take the left end around it. Sorry.
uh,
And then bam, there's the
So-
octopus.
So earlier when the ROV surfaced, I happened to have the video back on, and they were taking the samples off, and it was fun to see some of the whalebone samples come into the lab. I could see the auditory ampulla. That's what it was called, right? And it looked, because you don't really have, even though we have the lasers, I still have a little problem with the scale, so when I saw it in Steve's hand, I got a better sense. Oh, kind of like duck egg size is what it looked like to me. And then I also saw when he took the humerus out of the bucket, and I could kind of see the the size of that. And then he was about to process, and he put it down on the wet lab table, and there's this big white bucket between it and the camera. I was like, oh. So I couldn't see it after that, but it was fun to get to see some of the samples we collected.
Yeah,
coming up and going into the lab.
I was amazed in how much water is actually in those bones. It's like a big sponge, and it was just leaking water for minutes and minutes over the counter. So I was trying to get them drained as much as possible. Yeah, it's very porous, and the humerus not so much, but the other pieces, yeah, definitely. But the humerus had a lot of mass.
So
Yeah.
at first you put the humerus in a bucket on the floor, but then when you put it up on the counter, there was a white bucket sitting to your left, which totally blocked the view of the bone from the camera.
Goes, right?
We've got some photos from our from the social media team, I guess, on the ship, and we'll send you some of those photos. I think some of them actually might have made it out onto social media already.
Oh, really?
Yeah, those are available.
They're also included in an email that I sent out to all the leads and outreach folks from each team.
It's much
When
better
did you send that
resolution
out?
than the wet
I
lab
haven't
camera.
gotten anything.
Just a couple hours ago.
Yeah, I saw that.
No,
I'll see if
You
if
did?
you don't have it, Jen, I can forward it to
you
you.
left me off. Sam doesn't.
Sorry, it was part of an existing
I'm
thread. It might
kidding.
have just been the
Yeah,
lead scientist.
no worries.
But they're available on Twitter. Got a quick email out before getting back on watch.
Yeah. We're all scrambling to get it all done.
I was amazed on how
Okay.
solid that humerus still was. I mean, it was spongy in certain parts, but it was solid. After the water drained out, it actually got quite light. But compared to the mandible piece and the caudal piece, which were very, very soft and very friable, yeah, that humerus was really tough.
Nice to hear. Yeah.
Did you smell
How's
it?
that, Jen?
We did smell it, and I was conferring with the folks who were out here last year, and they said it's not as bad. Very, very slight, faint smell.
Yeah, if it's not going to have as much oil in it, it's not going to smell so bad. How's that, Jen? Any echo?
Let me see. No. Oh,
Oh,
no.
there it is.
Yes. No, there is.
That was a great word
Jan.
to echo, too.
Sorry.
No,
The mic off. I've got everything else off that I can have off, so sorry.
That's okay. Jen, I just forwarded you that email from Sam. So.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
It's got a link to the underwater and topside images.
Yeah, man, that ship just flew by doing all that whale stuff. We had such good help too. Yeah, and I'm so happy to have Jan on our watch with her expertise. It was so helpful, and the relationship with, you know, the museum and experts there just helped to, you know, provide more information on what the best targets would be for their collections and their needs. So that was really helpful.
Science, we're about 5 minutes from the bottom.
All right.
Once we get there, we need to settle out and just do some systems checks. And then we can start moving, and I want to confirm that we're headed to waypoint A first, correct?
Yes. Probably that's going to be, I don't think it's going to be difficult to find, but I think it's the most difficult to find of the three. So we'll go ahead and go for that first. Now, the middle waypoint, that's the one that has the Osmo sampler and the milk crates and 3 loggers. And so I was told earlier today it would probably be advantageous to do that collection last because the milk crate has to be put on the porch so it wouldn't get in the way, you know, of the optode and just kind of visibility and everything. So if that remains true, we can still on the way maybe find it and drop a marker. But if you guys want to put it on the deck second, we can. And then there's the northernmost site, which is just 1 logger. And that should be the easiest one to find.
And that's, okay, F for that one.
Yeah, I don't want to drive around with the Osmo sampler out there.
Okay.
It also, you know, we're not going to be able to get to the...
To the optode, yeah. Yeah, that's what I was told earlier today.
I just don't want to also, like, wait till it's too late, you know, like, weather-wise.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, it would be something where if we get these knocked out, and that's going to be the last thing we collect, you know, right by the Osmo sampler, if someone wanted to, you know, grab an animal or do a couple temperature readings, we could do that, and then pop all the equipment on. But it wouldn't be a situation where we're like, oh, we'll eventually get to that. Wait, where was it? Weather's coming up.
Yeah, that's what I don't want.
Yeah, I fully appreciate that, especially with the long ascent and everything.
So confirming first waypoint will be A, and then do we want to hit B next, or the C, D, E, which are all at the same site?
So,
or C, D, and E are the ones that we're going to pick up last?
Those are the ones that we will physically pick up last. I don't know if it's prudent to do a drive-by since it's kind of on the way, just to see if we can find it, or we could just fly to the octopus spawn. That's kind of your guys' call. I don't know experience-wise if it's better to just not waste the time on trying to find it twice.
You know, Chad,
how far away is it?
We're all within... It could potentially be on, well, so let me get rid of some of this here. Do have a bit of a question for you. So Chad, if you're looking at HiPAC now, target C, D, and E.
Can you put HiPAC on 3?
Yeah, they're only like a ship length away. Pretty close.
Target C, D, and E are down here at the stern of the ship. They're kind of overlapping on each other. However, the waypoints for the last cruise when they were dropped, I believe, are up here.
Correct.
Okay, so we're aware of that.
now I have to realize those points were based off of the observation log. So it's
Okay.
just a snapshot in time.
Gotcha.
So I would rely on your marks, obviously, a little bit more because you have multiples. I had also created a density grid with the ship or the ROV breadcrumbs. So it was like if we stayed in one spot, it was there for, 20 minutes acquiring all these data points. So I created this density grid to kind of look at the hottest spot to average out any navigation errors. And looking at HYPACK, your waypoints from the system, which are slightly northeast to the ones I provided, your points are kind of like right in the middle of that red spot.
What altitude do we want to come to a stop at?
Go with 30.
So yeah, that's for the Osmo samplers, I'd rely on your waypoints there.
Okay. The ones south of the ship right now. Got it.
And then I have A listed there. Why are there two B's on there? Or is that a different letter down there?
The letter south of the ship is actually C, D, and E, but they're on top of each other because of the way HYPACK displays letters.
C, D, and E.
So C, D, and E
You
are all at
That's
the
the
same
vent.
site.
Yeah, C, D, and E are all
bottom?
basically
Still at
the same site, but
40 or so.
Yeah.
in reference to,
Right.
to A,
Huh.
oh,
Guess
that's
we're on a
interesting.
slope there.
That is not what I have.
Ah,
Okay,
okay.
well,
Yeah, to me, it looks
you
like
need to come up some.
B, C, E, and D are
I need
supposed
to
to
come
be
up or down?
northeast of
Well, we're
A.
8.
Correct.
Delta 8.
Oh,
I don't want to be Delta 8,
All right.
even though we're stretched out. But
Okay. So let's see here.
So Chad, real quick, and on this idea of whether or not we do a quick little drive by the vertical vent on our way to the octopus spot.
might clear to
I
spin
don't think it's
around.
outside the realm of possibility that some of that
yeah.
loose rock has shifted or moved. It'd be good to know if things look the way we
Do
expect.
we need
or
to zero
different, 'cause
anything
it's
before we do, or we're
possible.
good here, right?
Yeah, we're
It's
good.
possible we might have to remove rock to find some of the equipment if rock has shifted.
It's
And
always
that might take some
possible.
time.
Yeah.
So might be worth it to peek at it and just get a sense of, oh
You
yeah,
able to
that
come
looks
around?
like it won't take
Yeah,
long, or it
I'm spinning.
may take longer than we thought.
I can see you in down cam now.
Okay. Now you can come down on your Delta if you want. I'm just going to hang here.
Okay to switch to dead reckoning?
Yep.
Whoops, not that way. There we go.
So from the looks of it, it looks like you went through some pyrosomes on the way down.
Yeah.
And they're now coming off the vehicle. Well, for folks who are watching with us, we are here back at the octopus garden area that we first encountered in 2018 and returned to in 2019 with the Nautilus to deploy some equipment. In this area, we have warm water that's venting from the rocks,
Oh, hi.
and in those areas, we see large aggregations of brooding octopus, as you're seeing here on the rocks, purple and white animals, and we're coming back to retrieve that equipment. So that is our primary goal for this dive, is to find both an Osmo sampler and temperature loggers and oxygen loggers that were left behind. And my name's Jennifer Brown, and I work with the research team of Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary, and I'm helping to lead this watch with Chad King and Jan Roletto. Do you want to introduce yourselves?
Chad is currently off his headset.
Okay. Jan, are you there?
Okay. I'll give it a try. Let me know if it starts breaking up. I'm having very bad comms this evening. Hi there, I'm Jan Roletto, and I'm the research coordinator at Greater Fairlawns National Marine Sanctuary, and I'll be helping Jen monitor the science chat as well as the HIPAC in searching for the data loggers that were almost a year ago, or just a little over a year. Yeah, almost a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And both Jan and I are doing all this from home. We're not aboard the ship. So if you hear us talking about some technical issues that the ship is not with
Yeah.
our audio or video, it's not necessarily something that
Yes.
folks on board the ship are experiencing.
Bob, did you call?
Yeah, right balance.
Thank you. I haven't done one of these since, I did one since I've been on the ship. Thank you, Bob.
Chad, are you back, or should we do introductions of the front row?
Well,
Go for front row.
Or
I think
or
he's busy.
Steve? Steve, do you want to go?
Yeah, sure. Introductions?
Ah.
Yeah, I'm Steve Oskovich. I'm the data logger right now on the 8 to 12, but I'm also the science manager for this cruise. We deal with a lot of samples on the ship, so it's my responsibility to make sure that everything gets logged accordingly and processed accordingly.
And it's such an important job. I was watching you, keep track of everything we collected on our dive earlier today, and just so glad that you get all those great photos and data, made sure everything's gonna
Okay, where to?
get processed and go where it needs to go. I think that Chad may be conferring on that, possibly. I think we're going to A.
Yeah, we're going to be looking for the one temperature logger at A. So what we need to do is, what would be very helpful is to find the original octopus garden pool. How close are we to A right now? Oh, we're really close, huh?
What's the? Yep.
Oh. 50 meters, 211. Sorry, Chad, we're 50 meters off from the waypoint A. The ship is very close, but Argus is north.
Right, so it would be, in the view that we see, it would be kind of down this hill, like to the left on this hill, in that direction-ish.
Yes, Hercules
Okay.
is looking southwest at the moment.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so actually Hercules is pointed straight at the waypoint right now. If you look at HIPAC, that long line.
Yep.
Yeah.
We just got to catch Argus up so we can get closer.
Good, this should be consistent, because if we approach this wall, if everything goes according to plan and memory and navigation, we should be going along this wall, and we'll eventually hit the original pool. It's a flat pool of the octopus garden. It's very distinct. And from there, we can navigate to the temperature logger.
Great.
Did you reset Doppler already?
I did, but it's still pretty funky. So can I try it again? Or you want to wait till we stop?
No, I've been hanging in
Where?
one spot.
Okay. I'm thinking over here, but
You could reduce trails, and then you could,
yeah, well, let me see if so I did reduce trails and I cleared trails, but they're not
but
clearing.
you're clearing the.
Park trails.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it was the ship trails? Aha, let's try that. No. Yeah, the turquoise ones are
Should be
park.
cycled. If there's any problem, let me know.
It's not looking good. What do you think?
I don't know.
Okay.
I can't. You know, if the most recent icon would come up like different than all the rest of the cloud, that would be helpful.
Sure would.
So like what's even more helpful is if you start with a bright color and then they fade off to a dimmer color as you
That'd
get
be great
older.
too. Is that an option? Not in this.
It is on other nav systems.
Yeah.
Not this
Well.
one. I think that's the kind of thing you get in the new version of this.
Yeah.
That we haven't
Downloaded the update.
yet. Yeah.
I'm gonna borrow this real quick, Steve.
Yeah, no problem.
I think it's right.
Right there?
Yeah, right in there.
I'll do it. Okay, and that makes a little more sense. It didn't seem like we were that far from Argus.
Argus over here, or Argus over there.
Cute, thanks. You want 20 meters grid here?
Yeah. That's good.
So Bob, if you point slightly south to 220, you're going to be pointing right at this coordinate if it is at this coordinate.
Okay.
Just to let you know.
So just to let science know, we have the big porch on here to do the the collection of the osmos. So it's going to be more in our face,
Okay.
Okay.
Like it's harder for me to look over the top of the porch,
Gotcha.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
you kind of got to live with the porch being in view a bit.
A little bit of a zoom.
Yeah, you can zoom in. It's just we're not going to be able to look down as much, as with the little
Okay.
porch.
That's good to know. Thanks.
Can I leave that little probe in there, or you want to get that out too?
Probably better
Bolt.
if we can get it.
So just to let everyone know, there's a status update from the captain. He would really like us to be on deck earlier. So instead of 8 a.m., 4 a.m.
Yeah.
So with a weight drop, that's still like what, a 1 a.m. off bottom kind of thing if we had to push it to that time.
Yeah.
Weight-wise, does that sound accurate, Bob?
What's that?
Weight-wise?
Yeah, we're going to...
What do you think our speed would be?
Oh, for calculating the
Yep.
ascent time? Well, so obviously I was off before.
Well.
We're a little bit heavier, but not by much.
Okay.
So I think that we could plan on 25? 25?
Bold. Okay. I'll calculate
20. 20. Let's go 20.
Okay.
In case there's more tether shenanigans or whatever. Right?
Roger.
I'll just leave it.
And you guys have convinced me, last experience trying to find something, that depth is the most
Yes.
reliable. So I'm curious our depth relative to the depth of A.
So A is, that's the logger itself, is 3186. We're at 3188.
Okay.
But I
Okay,
would really
so-
like to use the garden as a reference, and the garden is a few meters deeper than that. So as we come down the wall, I would love to get a little bit deeper, so we can find that pool.
So what's the garden at?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that exact coordinate on the map. We have the A logger.
I mean the depth.
The depth of the logger is at 3186. The depth
No,
of the pool is a little bit lower than that. I'm sorry, I don't have
How
that.
much? Oh, you don't know how much lower? Like,
It's just a couple 3 meters. It's
okay.
it's not that far away and not that far down.
I think we might be getting. Is there any? Are you feeling current, Bob?
No.
Okay. Drifting a little south. 242 will get you to.
I was
okay.
trying to
Oh, you're
stay on the
sure.
contour that's
Roger.
said, you know,
Ah, yes,
like
depth.
where the pool is. Yes, depth.
Depth.
Exactly.
We're about 7 meters off this waypoint.
Okay, there's some, I don't know if we're approaching the pool here. We might be, I hope. If not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're seeing more in the distance there.
Oh wow, there's that single polyp anthomastus. That's really neat.
Yeah. There's one. Going back to the video, there's one at the vertical vent, and I'm curious to see if it's still there.
Yeah, that's a new
At the
species
top.
and possibly a new genus that was sampled in the Galapagos by Nautilus and last year in the Line Islands at only deeper than 3,000 meters. So that's being described right now, and I know that they have seen it off California before. So it's neat observation. The polyp is massive though. It's one single polyp, 15, 20 centimeters when it's extended.
It's impressive for sure. I think it looks kind of like a palm tree.
So what does the pool look like? It's not flat ground. It's just a bunch of.
The pool is a plateau within this wall.
Yeah.
So it is a flat pool itself, and I don't know if, because I wasn't anticipating this before today, but I was wondering if Sam might be able to also bring up the coordinates from the ROV for the octopus garden. I don't know if they named it that, and I can also go get my computer and get those.
That's a good question for
too.
Nicole.
We're pretty stretched out here.
You want another ship move?
Yeah.
Roger. Bridge nav. 30 meters, 220.
Well, this looks plateauy up here, actually, right? Isn't it? Spin around and look over there with the light.
Yeah, if you're coming back, let me pull up a little bit.
Could that be it to the upper right? I can't sense if that's flat. Probably not.
No, there's a big canyon right by it too, like a big slot
Yeah,
canyon, and I
yeah.
don't see that slot canyon. That's not it at all.
Okay.
Depth 3189. That's the one. Oh.
Yeah, this single polyp Anthemastinae.
I thought we had found the stop.
Oh.
Of course, I'm looking
Did
at
you
the
just
corals.
draw it on the illustrator?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun.
Okay.
Flatten out up here. Need to
I
go
got
somewhere?
I got an email from Rennie when you guys were out here last year, and he's like, "Oh, we found this thing again." Like, "Oh yeah, it's the same thing we collected in a couple other years, and it seems to only be deeper than 3,000 meters, and it's only in the Pacific, and it's really distinctive."
Yeah, it's so large. I mean, it's really neat.
This is I've seen more here than any other site though. Usually they're just single events.
Huh. While we're looking, should we finish introductions? We got interrupted there by some operations. But Al, do you want to introduce yourself? The front row?
Good evening, everybody. This is Al Santos, video engineer on the watch.
My name is Paul Glick, and I'm the Argus pilot.
Bob Waters, I'm the Herc pilot.
And Samantha Wishnack, navigator.
No, I think we got everyone but you, Chad.
Yeah, Chad King from Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary, chief scientist. And we are looking to collect some equipment that we sent out here a year ago, but sometimes going back to the same spot in the deep sea can be challenging.
Yeah, especially when there's so many octopus that it makes finding one large pool of octopus a little more
This is just
challenging.
a slope. all over here.
Yeah, it's this whole thing is a slope. The octopus garden is a little bit deeper than this, that pool. So we're at 3185.
What is that down just on the bottom of Argus's cam? Is that the start of a flatter area, or no?
No.
Oh,
We
okay.
saw this coming in.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
that's where
That's
that.
the one that tricked me.
Yeah.
Well, target-wise, you are just south of waypoint A. But
Can we stick to 3189 and head back to the right, kind of northeast?
Okay. You can just follow me around. I think we got leash going that way.
how are you feeling about ship move?
No, I think we're okay.
We're okay?
You can
Perfect.
You can just follow me around.
So what we're seeing here, we're on a volcanic out kind of cone. I don't know if this would be called a cone. We were at a cone last night. But what do you call it, the foot of this mount, Chad, the other night? That was good. So we're out in an area by Davidson Seamount, which is in Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary. And we're on the southwest side of the seamount where there's this volcanic foothill that rises up, and the kind of bowling balls you're seeing that look like they have white are brooding female octopus of the species moose octopus. And we're going along hunting a location that we've been to a couple times now. We call the original octopus garden. And if you've seen any of the videos of the octopus garden discovery on Nautilus Live's video archive, we are looking for a pool that will probably
Yeah, just keep heading this way at this isobath.
Okay.
All right. Well, if we keep going this way, we need to move.
Roger. Chad, do you want to keep heading north here? We're going to need to put in a ship move.
No, I'm looking some stuff up here. Can we take a hold real quick?
Sure thing. Bridge nav?
Well, we're at the end of our leash, so we can't look any
Hold
further.
position.
I'm at the end. If you want to go further this way, we need a ship move.
Roger.
It's all right. It's yeah.
Okay.
You're just confirming.
Just making absolutely sure.
Yeah. Okay, hey, Chad, we're gonna have to move if we're gonna. If you want to go further this way, we need that ship move.
Okay. I'm thinking we actually need to go deeper, like a lot. We're trying to figure this out.
What depth are you thinking, Chad?
Tilt
So
down.
Jennifer, can you
Yep.
give us some background on this area?
Look at the tether.
No, I'm just looking
Oh.
at octopus collections.
What in particular were you thinking of, Jan? Give me a what aspect of the work we've done here before, or?
Just the kind of like the relationship between this area and the actual seamount itself, Davidson Seamount. Is this like the foothills? Is this
I think you were off.
kind of peak? Go ahead.
I talked a little bit a couple minutes ago, so I don't know if you were. My audio's been cutting out a little bit off and on. I don't know if you were here, but yeah, I was mentioning that at the large seamount, but there's, like you said, a foothill off to the southeast and western side of it.
Yeah.
And we came over here. It had only been mapped a few years prior, and we came over to see explore what might be going on at the base of the seamount, as opposed to some other plans we had to look at the top of the seamount. But we could not expect to have found all the octopus. And as we looked closer, when we saw the first groups of octopus, we noticed they were sitting on eggs, and they had a strange upside down way of sitting, that really caught our attention, because you can see the undersides of their arms over the top of them. We never seen any octopus orienting themselves that way. And then, like I said, eggs, and then we started noticing the water around these octopus seemed to be shimmering, kind of like you're in the desert looking at an oasis across the desert, and the air is kind of shimmering. Well, the water was doing that. So we suspected that the water was warmer, and that the water was coming out between the rocks, and it was. See, my audio just went out. It's back. But we didn't have access to a temperature, a way to measure the temperature in between the rocks at the time. But we managed to come back and take those temperature measures at another time, and then we've come back since with Phyllis and taken those
That's what I
Those
think.
temperature measurements.
I don't mean to interrupt, Jen. I'm going to just be
No,
gone
go
for
for it.
about 3 or 4 minutes. I'm just going to check on something really quick. If we could just hold here.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
I'm just gonna kind of
While
take a
we're
little
holding-
peruse around, but not lose
Yeah,
track
that's
of where
yeah,
we're
and
at.
let's zoom in. So if there's some folks who have
I can
joined
see
us.
something in the Argus video that
Okay,
I'm gonna go investigate.
that you want to check out? Yes,
Yeah.
please. Let's do it. We don't have time to waste, so if there's a chance that we can gather some additional reconnaissance or intel, let's get it. So anyway, we were later. Water was warmer, in fact, significantly warmer. Ambient temperature water outside of the vents is about 1.1 to 1.9 degrees at this depth, and we are over 3,000 meters deep or 2 miles deep,
Where's
so
my?
we're
How
very
come I
deep.
got no trails? Give me some trails.
And the water that we've measured coming out of the rocks can get up to 6 degrees
Where was that
Celsius,
pile we were looking at?
much warmer. Much warmer than the ambient. So the moms that are sitting in that venting water with their eggs are sitting in basically a hot tub to the surrounding conditions. That might allow their eggs to develop faster, which could be a real advantage. Because most things in the deep sea grow slowly, and it could take a while for eggs to develop down here.
Give me
And
more. Like, I want to see where I was. Where's
so that's
that?
why we've left
Does
this
it lose
equipment.
track of the old trails if you're not really?
So the equipment we left behind is measuring not only temperature for last year.
What is due
Some of the
northeast?
equipment is measuring.
Oh. Oh. Okay. Huh. But we're at 3186.
We are there.
So in addition to temperature, we're also measuring the amount of oxygen that's dissolved in the water. Because as water gets warmer, it can hold less oxygen. So though that water may be a good
Down
environment
it?
for developing your eggs faster.
No, we kind of came along like this.
Yeah.
I just was seeing, a patch of octopus in the Argus view,
Okay.
and that's this.
That's it. Because we just keep kind of like passing the original waypoint, but
Not finding.
okay.
Well, the depth reported for the pool was like